Ambassador Rachel Kane had always been considered the diplomatic corps' greatest success story. Fluent in 47 alien languages, versed in the cultural nuances of 63 species, and possessing an almost supernatural ability to find common ground between warring factions. The Galactic Council had specifically requested her for the peace negotiations with the Krillian hegemony, a militant species that had spent the last decade expanding aggressively through the Outer Rim. What they didn't know about Ambassador Kane was that before her diplomatic career, she had served 12 years as a Marine Corps Force reconnaissance operator. Her personnel file, classified at the highest levels, contained mission reports that read like science fiction novels. Single-handedly infiltrating enemy installations, surviving in hostile environments for months, and completing objectives that entire battalions had failed to achieve. The Peace Summit was held on Zirian Prime, a neutral world chosen for its remote location and sophisticated security systems. Rachel had spent weeks preparing, studying Krillian psychology, and developing strategies to appeal to their warrior culture while steering them toward peaceful coexistence. The Krillians, however, had different plans. General Vorkash, commander of the hegemony's expansion fleets, had agreed to the negotiations only as a pretense. His real objective was to eliminate the human diplomat whose reputation for successful peace treaties posed a threat to their military ambitions. The plan was simple: assassinate the human during what appeared to be a terrorist attack, blame it on separatist rebels, and use the chaos to justify increased militarization. The attack came during the third day of negotiations. Rachel was reviewing treaty drafts in her quarters when armed Krillians burst through the door, their plasma rifles already charging. She had less than 2 seconds to react. The first shot caught her in the shoulder, spinning her around. The second and third shots struck her torso, the energy burns searing through diplomatic robes and into flesh. The fourth shot grazed her leg as she dove for cover behind an overturned desk. The fifth and sixth shots punched through the furniture, sending splinters of alien wood across the room. As the seventh shot rang out, something fundamental shifted in Rachel Kane's demeanor. The diplomat vanished, replaced by the warrior who had earned 3 silver stars and a Medal of Honor in conflicts most civilians never knew existed. Through the smoke and chaos, the Krillians heard something they didn't expect: laughter. Low, dark, and absolutely terrifying. 7 shots. Rachel's voice carried across the room, steady despite the plasma burns across her body. In Marine training, we had a saying: if you're not shooting to kill, you're just making your enemy angry. The Krillians advanced, confident their target was neutralized. They found the desk empty except for scattered papers and drops of human blood. Behind them, the reinforced door to the diplomatic suite, designed to withstand siege weapons, lay twisted and torn from its hinges. Ambassador Kane stood in the doorway, her formal diplomatic attire singed and bloodied, but her posture radiating lethal intent. In her hands, she held the 3-inch thick titanium steel door, as if it were made of cardboard. "Where I come from," she said conversationally. "Attempting to assassinate a diplomat is considered an act of war. But I'm feeling diplomatic today, so I'm going to give you exactly 1 chance to surrender." The lead assassin raised his rifle. Rachel hurled the door at him with the force of a missile. The impact sent the Krillian flying through the wall into the adjacent room. The remaining attackers opened fire, their plasma bolts illuminating the corridor in deadly light. What happened next became legend throughout the galaxy. Rachel Kane moved through the gunfire like a force of nature. Decades of diplomatic training had taught her to read body language, predict reactions, and manipulate situations to her advantage. Her military background had given her the physical capabilities to act on those insights with devastating efficiency. Within minutes, 6 trained Krillian assassins lay unconscious in the wreckage of what had once been a luxury diplomatic suite. Rachel stood among the debris, checking her wounds with clinical detachment. 3 plasma burns, 1 bullet graze, and several lacerations from flying debris. Painful, but not life-threatening. She activated her emergency communicator with hands that weren't shaking despite the adrenaline. "This is Ambassador Kane to Galactic Council Security. I need a medical team and a cleanup crew. Also, please inform General Vorkash that his assassination attempt has failed, and I'll be expecting him at the negotiating table in 1 hour. She paused, looking at the unconscious Krillians scattered around her. And tell him to bring better assassins next time. These ones were embarrassingly amateur. The peace treaty was signed 3 days later. The Krillian hegemony agreed to all human terms.